All right, let's talk about something we all think we know like the back of our hand. Something you could probably sketch out from memory. The water cycle.
Yeah, this one takes you right back to elementary school science class, doesn't it? The sun shines, water evaporates up from the ocean, it forms clouds, it rains, and the whole cycle just starts all over again. Neat, tidy, a perfect little self-contained loop.
But what if that simple picture isn't just missing a few details? What if it's actually, well, dangerously wrong? A misconception that's been hiding the truth about what's really happening to our planet's most vital resource.
To get the real story, we've got to go deeper. We have to look past that simple schoolbook diagram and explore what's really going on in Earth's hidden waterverse. You see, scientists, they don't really see that simple circle. They see this huge, incredibly intricate system of what they call pools and fluxes. And this is a really powerful way to reframe your thinking. Pools are exactly what they sound like. They're the storage tanks, oceans, ice caps, even the water vapor in the air. And fluxes? Well, that's just the word for how the water moves between all those different pools. So let's start with the biggest pool of all. And wow, this number is just staggering. Look at this. Of all the water on our planet, a whopping 97% is saltwater. That leaves just a tiny, tiny 3% as freshwater. The stuff we, and pretty much everything else, actually need to survive. And it gets even crazier when you drill down into that little 3%. So where is all that fresh water? Well, check this out. Almost 70% of it is frozen solid, locked up in glaciers and ice caps. Another 30% is groundwater, buried deep in the earth. So what about all the rivers, all the lakes, all the stuff we actually see? That's just a little over 1% of the 3%. That's it. That's the tiny sliver that all life on land relies on. So you can see how delicate this whole system is already, right? But now there's a new player in the game, a huge, powerful force that's changing everything. Us, humanity's heavy hand.
Now, this diagram, I know, it looks like a lot. And that's exactly the point. We're not just sitting on the sidelines of the water cycle anymore. Think about it. City pollution, factory waste, farm runoff, all the water we're pumping out of the ground. We are now profoundly altering the water cycle at literally every single stage. And it's not just one single thing. It's this combination of huge pressures all at once. We've got human-caused climate change heating up the entire planet. We've got our cities paved over so water has nowhere to go. We're clearing forests that are crucial for managing rainfall. We're draining groundwater aquifers way faster than nature can ever refill them. And on top of all that, we're polluting the water that's left. So, what happens when you take a system this essential, this fundamental to life on Earth, and you just push it and push it and push it? Well, you get to a breaking point, and the consequences are frankly pretty alarming. And look, this isn't just some theory or a wild guess. This is what the science is telling us, loud and clear. As researchers recently put it, the global freshwater cycle is changing, and it's changing fast, primarily because of climate change and other human activities. The science on this is solid. And this leads to a really strange paradox. A warmer planet basically puts the water cycle on steroids. On one side of the coin, warmer air is thirstier. It literally sucks more moisture out of the ground, leading to deeper, longer droughts. But here's the flip side. That same warm air can hold way more water vapor. So when it finally lets go, it's not a gentle shower. It's a deluge. We get these massive extreme downpours that cause catastrophic floods. Then you've got the planet's massive frozen reservoirs, the cryosphere, which is just a fancy term for all the ice. And it's melting fast. And the scary part is, it's speeding up. Now, we all hear about sea level rise, and that's a huge deal, but it's also about the rivers. So many of the world's major rivers are fed by that seasonal melt. When that's gone, or when it becomes erratic, you're messing with the water supply for literally millions of people. And maybe the most frightening part of this new reality is that these disasters aren't happening one by one anymore. Scientists have a name for it: compound hydrological extremes. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. It's when you get hit with multiple things at once. Imagine not just a drought, but a drought and a record-breaking heat wave at the same time. The combined punch is so much worse than either one alone, and it's a whole new level of risk we're having to figure out.
Okay, I know, this all sounds incredibly bleak, but it's not hopeless.
In fact, understanding the problem this clearly is the critical first step. It's forcing us to get smarter, to adapt, and to figure out how to manage this new reality we've created. And there's actually a global game plan for this. It's called Integrated Water Resources Management, or IWRM for short. And that word, integrated, is everything. It means we have to stop thinking about water in isolation in little boxes. We have to manage water and land and everything else together as one big system. The goal is to make sure there's enough for everyone and that we do it fairly without destroying the very ecosystems that provide the water in the first place. And it all boils down to 4 really important ideas. First, we have to finally accept that fresh water isn't infinite. It's precious and it's fragile. Second, everybody gets a seat at the table. Decisions can't just be made by a few people. You have to involve everyone, from farmers to city folks. Third, and this is crucial, it specifically recognizes the vital role that women play in managing water all around the world. And fourth, water has value. We have to start treating it as the precious economic good it is, because that's how you drive innovation and stop waste. So that's where we are. That simple, neat little circle we learned about in school, it's gone. What's real is a complex, delicate system that is under incredible strain because of us. The old way of thinking just won't cut it anymore. So the real question, the one that affects every single one of us, is this. Now that we see the whole picture, what are we going to do about it? How will we choose to manage our most precious resource?